Hi guys, hello everybody who happens to be watching this video on my blog or on my YouTube channel. And currently I'm having my afternoon tea. As you can clearly see, it's double strength, 2 tea bags in a big jug. And it's strong as hell, but I love it. It's green tea, and it leaves this bitter aftertaste in your mouth. And I love it, you know. Cheers. Now, let's get down to business. And the business of today is to respond to an email that was sent in to me 22 hours ago. I didn't get around to answering it earlier on, and then I reckoned why not make a video about it, because the question is quite a valid one, and I haven't actually addressed this particular question from this specific angle. You know, over the years I've been making videos pretty much about every single aspect of English fluency improvement that there is, that you can possibly think of. However, sometimes I get these questions, and this one is about how many hours a day I should spend practicing my English, basically. And then I went to my blog and I tried to find out whether I've posted a video about how frequently or how often or how long your practice sessions could be. And turns out that I haven't actually posted a video about that, you know. So I reckon, why don't I record a video addressing that specific question? So basically, this person says that the biggest challenge for them is to improve fluency in speaking and writing. So that's the first part of the question, right? So to address this question, just let me remind you that speaking and writing are two different skill sets, right? You cannot bundle them up in one big thing. You cannot perceive your spoken and written English as one thing that you can work on at the same time. Those are two specific aspects. In order to become fluent in speaking, you gotta do a lot of spoken practice, whereas if you want to become good at writing in English, you have to write. You know what I mean? You are what you do, you know? So let's move on. What should I do to improve my level quickly? And how many hours a day should I spend on it at least? So, obviously, the more, the better, right? Ideally, you would create a full immersion environment, right? And you may want to check out this video where I'm talking about it, how to create your own immersion environment. Basically, you get rid of everything that's got to do with your native language and you do everything in English, right? And that's the best way to propel you to the next level very fast, you know? However, bear in mind that it's all about active practicing. Just because you would be taking in a lot of passive content in English, such as reading, audio-visual content, you know, TV shows, programs, videos, whatnot, it doesn't mean that you're going to be able to speak. It's quite the opposite, actually. If you don't speak at all, only consume content, you will be very good at understanding. Basically, your comprehension skills are going to develop. However, you won't be able to talk with other people, you know, simple as that. So, on top of creating the full immersion environment, you got to make sure that you practice a lot. Speak, you know, with your mouth, basically. Obviously, how else would you speak? But yeah, and some of you might think that this sounds ridiculous. Speak with your mouth. However, I need to emphasize it because so many people just still don't get it. You know, they don't get the simple fact that you gotta be using your mouth, and that's the only way you can expect to improve, you know. And yeah, going back to the main question, how many hours a day you should be spending on it? Well, there is no set figure, you know. I couldn't come out and say, listen, you gotta be spending at least 1 hour, or at least 2 hours, or at least 3 hours. It varies. It varies from one day to another. It varies between different people, you know, because we all have different lifestyles. You might be more busy than I am, you know. It all depends how many minutes of spoken English practice you can squeeze into your day, you know. My mouth is getting dry, excuse me. And now I'm going to cough. Excuse me, guys. This doesn't happen often, right? And in theory, I could have edited it out, but I'm just gonna leave it here because I'm all about being natural here, right? So you get to see the way I am, and I'm not trying to mask anything, and even if I make a mistake or two, I leave here in these videos so that you can clearly see that embracing mistakes is the only way forward. Anyway, it's basically about using every spare minute that you can in order to practice your English, right? So I would say you should be looking at doing it all day long, but obviously you're not going to be doing it for 16 hours, I mean, the spoken English practice, but you have to kind of scatter those times throughout the day. You wake up, right, in the morning, and this is something that I've been touching upon many times before, you know. You take a shower or whatever is your morning routine. You go to your kitchen to fry eggs or whatever. You talk with yourself. Obviously, if there's someone around, you wouldn't do that unless they're really comfortable with you doing it. But obviously, you have to play it by ear. See what your situation is, you know, and then fit it into your schedule. So whenever you're on your own, do speak in English. Surely there are times of the day when you're on your own, whether you're driving to work or walking somewhere, you know, and that spoken English practice doesn't have to be really loud. All that you need to do is just make sure that your lips are moving, and you can talk with yourself in slight whisper. That's all that matters, you know, to get your mouth exercised and to wire those speech patterns not only in your brain but in your mouth as well, because that's of the utmost importance. So if you were to practice your spoken English for like an hour a day, and if that means like doing 10 minutes in the morning and then 20 minutes during your lunch break, for example, if you don't take your lunch break with anyone else, if you just go somewhere on your own. For instance, me, I tend to go to my car during a lunch break to take a nap. I'm a fan of these power naps, you know, but you may as well just go to your car and recap your day, you know, what has happened during that particular day up until that moment, you know, what you've done in the morning and how your day has been so far and stuff, and then you can actually plan the rest of your day, you know. Planning is actually one of the greatest topics that you can constantly talk about, you know, what's going to happen, what you have to do, what you've done so far, did you do it right, did you do it wrong, you know. So there are so many aspects of your daily schedule and the things that you have to be doing today or tomorrow. There's so many aspects that you can be focusing on that it's pretty much impossible to run out of stuff to discuss with yourself, you know. And oftentimes people ask me, what could I possibly talk about? I've got nothing to discuss with myself. And I say, nonsense. If you think about it, there's always something going on in your mind. Most likely we think about what has happened so far, you know, in the recent past, and then we plan the future, and you may as well just voice it all out loud. So, going back again to the original question, how many hours? Even an hour a day, if it's scattered throughout your day, just like I said, 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there, you come home at night, and then surely there is some time that you have just to yourself, you know. And even if there isn't, you make it your objective to free up some time to do the spoken English practice, you know. And obviously, if you have a lot of opportunities during the day to talk to other people, it all counts as valid time spent practicing your spoken English. However, I will emphasize it again, doing it on your own, just with yourself when there's nobody else around, has its great advantages. You know, there's nobody to judge you. You can give your fluency free rein. You can talk however you want, make as many mistakes as you want. And during that process, you will improve even more so, you know. And obviously, you have to be conscious of the mistakes you make note of some of them, look up how you would say things correctly later on, and then improve that way. I'm not saying that you have to ignore your mistakes or whatever. That's not the point. The point is you have to have some time when you can just speak all by yourself without anyone else listening. And it's during those times that you will notice that you actually improve the most, you know. So 1 hour a day, good. 2 hours, you can do 3 hours spoken English practicing. That's even better, obviously. The more the better. And there would be some time that you would realize that you've been talking too much, kind of. It does happen, you know, and that you actually have to kind of stop and shut up and not say anything. And it has happened to me that I kind of get a little bit overwhelmed, so that's when I have to actually stop, you know. But it's not to say that it would happen every day. It would happen from time to time. And you may want to read this article where I've actually talked about it, right? But to sum it all up, and I will take another sip of my green tea, guys. Cheers. Strongly recommended. You know, green tea, all these antioxidants and everything. And it's good for your body, good for your mind, and good for your English performance as a result. Because it's all related to each other, right? So if you can do a couple of hours a day, it's brilliant. That's how much I would probably do during the day. When I commute to work, when I drive back home, you know, that's about 2 hours of commute at least. And during those commute times, I just talk to myself in the car. That's 2 hours right there. And then whenever I'm going for a walk with my dog, that's another 30 minutes added on, or yeah, 40 minutes or so. So plus all these little moments when I would be just going somewhere and talking to myself, that's about 3.5, or even 4 hours a day maybe, you know. But just like I said, if it's all scattered throughout the day, it's not even necessary to worry about the actual figure. It could be 1 hour, could be 2, could be 3, it could be 4, you know, for as long as you do it the whole time and create the immersion environment whereby you are actually forced to be using the English language all the time. That's when you will notice a very fast and considerable improvement to your English, right? And speaking of how to improve your level quickly, it's all about situations. If you have a specific interview to go for, a specific occasion to prepare for, you have to give a speech, or there's a meeting coming up, or whatever, you can improve your spoken English fluency for that particular occasion very fast, within a few days, to be honest with you. If you have to prepare for an event, you just have to kind of think about what might be discussed during that event, come up with some conversation scenarios, insert some relevant phrases, memorize them, you know, not obviously memorize the whole thing, but the key phrases that you might be using during that meeting or interview or whatever the event might be, you know, and then you can actually improve for that specific occasion very quickly, within a matter of days, you know. However, if we talk about the general, the overall ability to speak and write, well, to do it real fast, like it's impossible, you know. You cannot expect to improve your overall ability to speak just like a native speaker about any given topic within a very, very, very short space of time, let's say 2 or 3 or 4 weeks. You know, it's not going to happen. It will take months at least, you know. But just like I said, for specific occasions, and also your daily routine in general when you go to work, if you think about it, it can be all boiled down to specific situations. You meet the same people, you encounter the same situations, so the vocabulary used and phraseology used, right? I should say phraseology, not vocabulary, because phraseology is what makes you fluent, right? If you focus on individual words, it's not going to happen, you know? So that phraseology used in your daily life is still quite limited if you think about it, you know? So even when it comes to your general ability to talk to people at work or in the college, whatever your case may be, you know, even that could be improved relatively fast within a matter of a month or two, you know. And those who purchased the English Harmony system, they've experienced it firsthand, you know. Just read some of the customers' feedback on the sales page where you can buy the English Harmony system, and you realize that people have improved really fast. But what I'm trying to say is that if you want to be able to speak, no bragging, you know, I don't want to sound like bragging, but if you want to be able to speak like me, you know, it will take you years, you know. But then again, it's all about setting the right expectations. You cannot expect to speak just like a native speaker within a matter of weeks and months, you know. It's a lifelong process, and I've been doing this for more than a decade, you know. I've been living in Ireland now for almost 15 years, and I've been a fluent speaker for about 10 years or so, and I'm improving every day, you know, and I will keep working on it. You can never stop. It's not as if you would reach your goal of becoming a fluent speaker and then just stop right there. No, it requires constant practice and improvement, and it's a lifelong process. So I hope that I answered your question. Obviously, I was ranting for perhaps too long, you know, too long to your liking, but hey, that's me, and a lot of my YouTube subscribers and blog followers like that, so I hope that you enjoyed it too, my dear friend who asked this question. So thanks for watching this video. Chat to you soon again. Bye bye.